More cases of New World screwworm are being reported in Texas. Corpus Christi's area water reservoirs continue to hold steady, and a record number of Kemp's Ridley sea turtle nests have already been logged for 2026. This is South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Kemp. Thank you for joining me. It's Monday, June 15th. We'll start in Victoria, where City Council will meet at 5 p.m. tomorrow at their council chambers. 6 consent agenda items are on this week's schedule, including the approval of a $150,000 professional services agreement with DCCM Infrastructure, Inc. for developing Victoria Metropolitan Planning Organization's Regional Freight Mobility Plan. Another item includes the award of a $364,000 construction contract for the Riverside Park Soccer Field parking lot paving project that will be awarded to Clark Construction of Texas. In addition, council members will discuss approving an over $760,000 purchase with Third Kettle Corporation, doing business as Aquametric Sales Company, for the 2026 water meter replacement project. Plus, an overview from the Assistant City Manager on emergency management contracts will be on the agenda. Victoria City Council meets on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. Meetings are live streamed online at victoriatx.gov and on YouTube at Victoria Texas Videos. Meanwhile, Corpus Christi City Council's next regularly scheduled meeting will be next Tuesday, June 23rd. And we now go to our top story. The number of screwworms cases continues to rise, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. There are now 12 cases confirmed, 11 in Texas and 1 in New Mexico. Texas Public Radio's David Martin Davies has more.
The latest confirmed case of the New World screwworm is in a sheep in Sutton County, 135 miles northwest of San Antonio. The tracking of the flesh-eating parasite shows it has moved beyond the Texas-Mexico border zone and into the Texas Hill Country. The screwworm is a parasitic fly that attacks cattle, sheep, goats, wildlife, pets, and rarely people. A screwworm fly lays hundreds of eggs in an open wound or body opening, such as a nose, in a living, warm-blooded animal. The rapid infestation can be deadly. Livestock owners are being urged to inspect animals regularly and immediately report a suspected infestation to a veterinarian. Screwworm poses a potentially devastating threat to the cattle industry. I'm David Martin Davies in San Antonio.
Keeping you updated on the latest Corpus Christi area water reservoir readings, the Texas Water Development Board shows that Lake Corpus Christi continues to hold steady at 28% capacity. Choke Canyon Reservoir also maintaining its low supply at 8.1% capacity. Lake Texana near Edna is near full capacity at 97.8%. The City of Corpus Christi and Corpus Christi Water hold a weekly media briefing on supply and project updates. They're usually held Fridays at 10 a.m. on the City of Corpus Christi's YouTube channel. 3 News reports that environmental concerns in Baffin Bay near Rivera are finally being addressed. The Texas Railroad Commission and the Texas General Land Office are in the process of plugging and removing 6 orphaned oil and gas wells. The first well was successfully plugged at the end of last month.
The key word is suffocation. We've got a bay that is losing our nutrients. It's, we're losing our oxygen. It affects breeding patterns, the digestive patterns.
That was Clayburgh County Judge Rudy Madrid speaking with 3 News. He also said addressing the wells are part of improving the health of Baffin Bay, which has struggled with declining water quality and low oxygen levels.
The problem is so overwhelming. We have thousands of wells that need to be plugged. I think right now there are about 10,000 wells that they've identified that are orphaned and abandoned. So there's a big backlog of wells.
That was Cyrus Reed, Conservation Director for the Sierra Club's Lone Star chapter. He spoke with 3 News. The Sierra Club helped advocate for additional funding for the project, and officials have said the project is one of many like these across Texas. The Corpus Christi Caller-Times reports that more Kemp's Ridley sea turtle nests have been found on Texas beaches in 2026 than any year since authorities began consistent recording. By mid-June, about 600 Kemp's Ridley nests had been found. The previous annual record for the Texas coast was 449 nests last year. Consistent nesting season records date back to 1980. Beginning today, drivers in Flower Bluff and near North Padre Island should be aware of daytime lane closures scheduled on the West Laguna Madre Bridge on Park Road 22. Chris 6 News reports it's part of an ongoing bridge maintenance project on and adjacent to the JFK Causeway. Work is scheduled from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays through the end of this month. The project will require closure of the Park Road 22 westbound left lane and shoulder on the bridge only. Once westbound work is completed, the contractor will close the right lane and shoulder on the eastbound West Laguna Madre Bridge. In state news last Friday in Midland, one person was killed and 10 others were injured in a shooting. As the Texas Newsroom's Lucio Vasquez reports, the suspected gunman was later found dead after a standoff with police.
Authorities say the suspected shooter was 45-year-old Victor Mata Villarreal of Odessa. They say the shooting began around 8 in the morning. Villarreal allegedly opened fire on officers and bystanders before barricading himself inside an abandoned building. After a several-hour standoff, authorities say he was found dead. Lori Blong is Midland's mayor.
We want to provide support and prayer and continued thoughts for those families of those victims.
Investigators say Villarreal was already wanted for attempted capital murder of a peace officer. He allegedly fired multiple shots at a cop earlier this week. I'm Lucio Vasquez in Houston.
A physician hospital organization representing 45 rural hospitals across Texas will end all of its contracts with United Healthcare. KERA's Abigail Ruman reports the leader of the hospital organization cites unsustainable reimbursement rates.
The Texas Organization of Rural and Community Hospitals Clinically Integrated Network, or TORCH-CIN, serves over 300,000 Texans. That's according to Paul Aslin, the organization's executive director. He says rural hospitals get less than half of the reimbursement that hospitals in metropolitan areas get.
If they don't pay our hospitals a sustainable rate, our hospitals will close, and those patients will be without access to local health care, and that's not what we want.
A United spokesperson says the company has remained actively engaged in negotiations and referred to TORCH-CIN's actions as a negotiating tactic. I'm Abigail Ruman in Dallas.
In sports, last night the UFC held its Freedom 250 Fight Night on the White House grounds as part of programming for America's 250th anniversary and President Trump's 80th birthday. And first responders from across the country also had the opportunity to walk out with fighters during matches. Corpus Christi Police Department's Brandon Cordell and Gustavo Medina accompanied Diego Lopes in the opening match. And a trivia fact from last night's card, it was the first time in UFC history where all fights ended by knockout. Continuing on with sports, the Corpus Christi Hooks kick off a 6-game homestand tomorrow with the San Antonio Missions. The Hooks currently sit in 4th place in the first half of the Texas League South standings with a 29-34 record. They're just a few games ahead of the Missions, currently in 5th with a 27-36 slate. First pitch for the kickoff game is at 6:35 p.m. tomorrow. The San Antonio Spurs bowed out of the NBA Finals this past Saturday, 4-1. They dropped Game 5 in another close matchup to the New York Knicks, 94-90, this time at home in San Antonio. And if you were in Arlington over the weekend, you may have noticed a pretty important event shaping traffic, commerce, and the overall look of the city. The first World Cup game in North Texas took place yesterday, and Dutch fans brought a special tradition with them. KERA's Andy Lusk followed alongside the Orange Army.
The rumors are true. The Dutch love to party. Thousands of fans came out Sunday morning to turn the route from Choctaw Stadium to Dallas Stadium into a massive street festival/parade. They were celebrating before their match against Japan, which was the first World Cup game held in Arlington. 8 more are on the way. Mario Borst and Pauline Visser flew into Dallas from the Netherlands with colleagues from the Royal Dutch Football Association, or KNVB. You just heard them singing a Dutch song called Back in Time. Visser says,
You sing when there's something to celebrate, and you wear orange, and it gives a feeling of community, and like we're strong together. It makes people happy.
She says the Dutch are known for getting a little bit crazy when it comes time to party.
I think we make a lot of noise as Dutch people. In the world, we are such a small country, but we feel connected when there's something to celebrate in our country.
The Orange Army, as it's called, is a staple of Dutch soccer culture. Fans take to the streets wearing bright orange to honor the country's royal roots and to cheer on national players before they hit the field. When the Orange Army is on the move, it's led by a world-traveling, double-decker bus carrying revelers and blasting tunes. The mood is exuberant. Electronic dance music thuds through the streets, and chants erupt from across the crowd. Gerardo Cervantes is a local who wants to be a part of the action, even if he doesn't have a ticket to the game. He came to experience the Orange Army's takeover of Arlington.
Never in my lifetime would I have even expected to come to a World Cup event, let alone be 15 minutes down the street from the damn stadium and be able to just come and enjoy it.
The sea of orange shirts, Hats, body paint, and synthetic wigs is stunning to see. Still, there's a blend of color here. Fans wave countless red, white, and blue Dutch flags. Other countries' fans are in the crowd too, including Japan. But there's no hostility. The World Cup, after all, is widely considered a unifying event. Multiple visiting Japanese fans say they're excited to experience Texas food while here, especially the burgers and steaks. But both Dutch and Japanese visitors are surprised by how big and friendly the Lone Star State is. Shigeki Hanawa is experiencing Dallas for the first time. He flew in from Tokyo only a day before.
It was more than I expected. The state's clean, great, people are so nice, and the stadium, it's more than like a surprise, right? It's majestic, so it's great.
And Guido Jensen says similarly.
Yeah, yesterday we was on the fan zone in Dallas. It was amazing how big it was and how well organized, and the screens are everywhere. We don't know that in Europe.
The Dallas-Fort Worth area is anticipating an influx of almost 4 million visitors during the World Cup. Games in the region run through mid-July. The next match at Dallas Stadium, as AT&T Stadium is known during the World Cup, features England versus Croatia, taking place Wednesday afternoon. As for the Netherlands, they'll play again on Saturday against Sweden. As is tradition, Dutch fans are sure to unleash their inner party animal again. I'm Andy Lusk in Arlington.
And I'm Rob Boskamp, and that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. On the way, your community arts calendar and more on this Monday.